Hey, I should take a moment. I've been putting a lot of energy into my scissor hinges these last couple weeks or so. And now I'm working on another design. But one design that I'm going to quickly try to wrap up is the leaf spring brackets that convert first gen Dodge D150 or W150 front leaf springs into a rear leaf spring kit for our cars. So these come in at about, I think it's like 1,400 pound rating on the leaf springs. Now the aftermarket kits that you buy for these cars, I think are about 900 pounds. So they are quite a bit stiffer, which isn't terrible. But what I'm gonna try to do is I'm actually gonna try to knock off this third leaf off this bottom here. And that'll make them just a 2-leaf spring component, just like that. So not too crazy. I need to blast that off there, get rid of this nut, and then buy a new one. I need new bushings for these. They are toasted on these ones, so nothing too crazy. So I don't know how many hours I have into Google about or looking at trying to figure out an alternative leaf spring for our cars that is on a like fairly common North American vehicle, that basically when I sell these brackets, other people can buy the bracket, go to an auto wreckers at Timbuktu and find a set of leaf springs that'll work for it. Here, stand by so I don't hit myself in the face with this thing. Okay, so that's what the biggest issue was trying to find a set of leaf springs that I knew other people would be able to easily find. Initially, I started looking at import vehicles like Toyotas and stuff because they're lighter, obviously. And I was even looking at like trailers and stuff like that to find one that was going to be kind of even remotely close, but I could not find anything that was even remotely close. So I did end up finding the Dodge. Let's turn this light on. So I'll show you where we're at now. I'm gonna grab my handy dandy treble light. Oh. There we go. Just so you can see what I got going on underneath here. Okay. Let's grab a tape measure here. And I've been so busy. I got baby number 5 on the way, so that's exciting. That definitely makes things a little bit more complicated. I got a 3-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 16-year-old, and baby number 5 on the way. So I'm definitely a little more busy than I should be. But this is where we are at now. So these are the leaf spring brackets or hangers that I designed. They bolt right in the OEM position. Sorry, I got a spider on me. Okay, so yeah, these ones bolt in the original position. That one there. Honestly, the biggest pain in the butt is getting rid of the rivets. Like, those turned out pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with those. And then that's a good 3 inches clearance between the axle and the frame there. And then this is the rear leaf spring hanger. So it's almost perfectly vertical, which is good. You got quite a bit of room left, and if you wanted to notch that, you could still, like, that's a, what is that, a 4-inch drop? I think that's a 4-inch drop block. It's just 4-inch tubing that someone cut into that shape. And then this is my S10 rear diff. So the reason that I am dicking around and making these and modifying them, oh, and also here, sorry, distracted. I made it so there's actually arrows that point towards the axle on each bracket. See that? So there's no mistake when you're installing these things as to which direction they go. So anyways, when I'm installing these things, or when I design these things, I design them so that your S10 disc brakes are gonna clear your leaf springs. So I moved the whole assembly an inch inboard. I think I'm actually gonna move it 1 more inch inboard, and then this bracket I'm gonna design to actually stick out that way further, so that I can grab this shock. Yeah, so that's the plan. So right now I'm literally just gonna measure from this to this, and from that to the center point to see how far off on these leaf springs they are. So here, let's just do that right now. You can hang out right here. I'll put you somewhere handy. Okay, from this nut to that, it is 24 inches. 24 inches. Maybe, yeah, to the center of the axle, it is 24 inches. Maybe 24 and, well, no, yeah, 24 inches. What are the chances? Okay, let's measure to the other side. Yep, 24 inches. So, 48 inches. 48 inches eye to eye when it is flat. So that's what we're working with. So it's 24 from this guy to there, and same thing from that one into this one. That is what we're working with. So, yeah, that's about all the information that I needed out from underneath here. That's what I'm gonna work with. And now I'm going to, scooch out. Looking up my nose. Okay. Now those Dodge leaf springs, let's measure those and I'll show you what they are. They are, I don't have the little, I'm literally just carrying my GoPro around right now just because I took the mount off of it. Let's drag this one over here, drop this one down here. Okay. Oh, hey folks. Well, would you look at that? Kablamo. 24 inches, right to the center. Money. Now, cross your fingers for me and hope that this one is the same, because that would be sweet. Essentially, I will have found a leaf spring that all of us 49 to 54 Chevy car guys can use for an alternative swap, which will make things so much cheaper for everyone. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, look at that. Right from the center, 24. It works. So, these guys are pretty well damn near flat. Now, it's gonna make the rear end ride a little bit stiffer, for sure. But in all honesty, here, check this out. Let's see if I can just balance this thing right here. Okay, watch this. This is with the swap kit or the conversion kit from Speedway Motors. That's like, that's pretty soft. Like, yeah, it would ride nice, but like, come on. You can't put any weight in this thing before you're gonna be bottoming out. So you may as well throw a little bit stiffer of a spring in there, and then you're set and you're ready to go. Not to mention, these things, I'll tell you right now, those leaf springs I picked up at the auto wreckers, for $100. It was $50 per side. New bushings are about $40, and this is in Canadian dollars. So we're looking at 140 Canadian, so that's like $90 US essentially, or $100 US. $100 for leaf springs, and my brackets, I'm gonna try to price them at about 200, 250, something like that. It really depends on what it takes for me to manufacture them, weld them, ship them, all that, you know, all that good stuff. But the name of the game here is to try to offer a super cheap product that everyone can use right out of the gate, no dicking around, grind off your rivets, knock your old stuff out, throw your new wide leafs in, and then you can throw your S10 diff in and run your S10 disc brakes, which everyone says install an S10 diff in these cars. And yes, you can, but I'll tell you right now, these are the S10, not these ones. These are the Camaro rotors. Holy fuck. That's a Camaro rotor. Camaro. The S10 ones are in behind there, and I'm not going to dig those out because I don't want to. They are significantly taller. They are, look at, so this is the rotor for the Camaro. And the S10 one, I'll attach a picture. It is like that much taller. So from the wheel surface back, it pushes that caliper way in and it'll contact the frame. I'll just actually, I may as well just show you what I'm talking about here instead of just telling you a story here. Let's grab this light one more time. And I do have some pictures. Maybe we'll just attach pictures. No, I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Why not? Why not? Here. So we'll go back under the car here. So, the S10 stuff, where it pushes the caliper back, or where the caliper sits and it actually interferes and hits right there. So if you want to run the caliper for the disc brake S10 diff, you have to clock it down. And when you clock it down on the original leafs, it hits the leaf spring. So these ones, I push them inboard by modifying the mount and shifting everything over this way to move the leaf spring 1 inch inboard or inward. So I think I might move it honestly 1 more inch in, because I mean, why not, right? It's not going to be too crazy narrow. Sacrifice 1 inch on the inboard side, and then you have additional clearance for your diff and your disc brake stuff. I think it's worth it. So hey guys, it's the next day. I'm wearing the same thing, except this time I'm wearing my pajama pants because I'm sneaking out here while the wife's getting the kids ready for bed. But I wanted to kind of show you guys where I'm at. So I spent a little bit more time today playing around with dimensions and measurements and checking in on rear axle widths. So another buddy online is asking for a kit for his Belair. He has a 2nd gen Camaro rear diff. So I figured, what the hell? Let's see if I can just make this kit work perfectly so you can bolt a Camaro diff under these cars using the original stock leaf spring like saddles or pockets. I forget what they're called. But yeah, it's just basically just grab a diff out of some other car and then bolt it into your car using my kit that I'm gonna sell you. So what do we got here? I measured, now check this out. This is awesome because like, it's more of a fluke than anything. I'm not gonna claim to have done this on purpose. So I measured center to center on these 2 brackets. Let's get this light in the proper position here. So yeah, center to center on these brackets, and it worked out. I'm not even joking, it worked out perfectly. It was perfect, right on the money for a 1st gen Camaro rear diff. So with the current design of these leaf spring saddles, and then that Dodge W150 rear leaf, you can bolt a Camaro rear diff under your car. with like no additional effort included. And it, I centered these the way that I designed this and this where they sit. It places the wheel right in the middle of the arch. So here, why don't I actually just go? I'll just show you that, so you're not doubting me at all. Let's have a look. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Let's have a little look here right now. It's gonna be kind of hard to see because I got a bunch of crap in my garage, but maybe it's sitting a little bit forward. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that too far forward? Close? It kind of sucks because you have the peak of the arch of the frame, right? So if you want to get the most drop out of your rear diff or out of your axle, and you don't want it to impact the frame, of course you want your axle sitting underneath the peak of the frame so you have the most travel, right? So you move it back and then you'll hit sooner so you have less travel. But I guess we could just look and see where we're at. Yeah, see, like check this out. It's already back quite a bit. So I don't really want to move it back anymore. Yeah. So I'll tell you why I designed these hangers. I think I kind of already did in this video. This is day 2 and I don't remember what I did yesterday, but whatever. I'll just tell you again in case. I'll edit it out if I already told you. You guys can see where I trimmed the frame right here. Right here. I cut that in by this height, this distance right here. So I cut that whole lip off. So that's the face of the frame right there. You know what, let's measure that. Let's measure that right now and see what that is with an S10 rear axle. Where did I put my, oh, stand by. All right, I got my tape measure. Let's try this again. And you know what, I'm not editing my YouTube videos anymore. I'm literally just gonna be giving it to you, part of the language, but I'm just gonna give it to you raw because if I'm gonna put out videos, I don't have time to edit them because I'm trying to engineer stuff. I got a full-time job and I'm also running YouTube. Like, come on. Real life has priority. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Can you guys see that? Kind of? Now here, one second, I'll just move this light. So, S10 disc brake diff from a 4x4 S10. From this lip back to the frame, it looks to be 2.2 7/8 of an inch. Can you guys see that? Do you concur? Hey, 2 7/8? I think so. I guess one way to do it would also be to just measure between this point. Oh, I got it. What is that? 45 3/8, 45 1/4, just about. 45, let's call it 40. Let's call it 45 3/8 just for additional clearance where it's worth. Okay, and now we have a base reference on the diff. Okay, that's what we're working with. So, yeah, I told you about the Camaro stuff. I told you about this, and I showed you some clearances. So that hopefully that should be enough to kind of get you guys interested and see what's going on here. Yeah, I've got the mounts pretty much figured out. I'm gonna sell them for, I don't know, I might take it back and you might see them listed for more, but I'm gonna try to sell them for 275 bucks. And that is gonna be all the steel mounts, everything that you need. And then I picked up a set of leaf springs from the auto wreckers local to here for 100 Canadian. So that's like 70 US or something like that. And then the new bushings are gonna be about 45 bucks. So say 140 Canadian, so 100 US. I don't know, whatever, you can do the math. a lot cheaper. Definitely worth it. So that's the name of the game, is to supply some wicked parts that can get our cars on the road sooner and cheaper, so we can actually enjoy ourselves without, I don't know, making our wives file for divorce. So that's what's going on. This is what I got going on. These are the mounts. You can visualize them like this, right? See that? So this is the standard one. I even have a new design. Here, I'll show you actually what I got going on here. I've got another design where I'm actually recessing the leaf spring in towards the frame by another inch, just to provide additional clearance for more calipers and all that stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at. So I have to design the shock mount that bolts on the bottom of the leaf spring with the U-bolts. So that's what I'm working on. That's gonna take no time at all to really get that finished. So if you're interested, if you want a set, hit me up, let me know. badomenclassics.com. You should find my contact info there, my email, that sort. And then, yeah, we'll get a set sent to you. So thanks for watching, and stick around, stay tuned for more cool projects with hot rod stuff and engineering and tinkering and learning to do stuff. That's the name of the game for me. Thanks everyone. Bye.